We knew at times there's a risk to that, but we felt the reward was greater than the risk. So that's what suits us. That's how we play. And they're going to get away. They're going to get through at times, but when we win it, we're dangerous as well. So the players can see how we're improving. They're on board. And I think they'll be flat and disappointed because we've not got something from the game, but they'll see the growth in the team. They'll see what we are doing. They'll see how well we're competing. They'll see that from game 2 to there now, there's been a huge leap in performance levels. And the only way to get out of the position that we're in is by working really hard and continuing to build and grow. So that they're flat, but there's a belief there, and they probably feel similar to me. After a good performance, you can sleep a little bit easier. If it was a poor performance and we'd lost, it's more difficult.
How would you sum up the first half of the season?
Yeah, it's hard. I think we're building, we're growing. I think we've learnt a lot. I think we learnt quite quickly. I would like to think we got stung in a couple of games early on where we weren't doing one or two things right. We worked hard on that to adjust. To this point now, the halfway stage where we've played today, I know Kenilworth Road's different, but we've had more of the ball than Chelsea, and the wealth of talent that they've got. We've created loads and loads of chances, showed loads of character, heart, fight. So I love the way that we're progressing. That gives me confidence and belief going into the second half of the season. First half, bottom line, good in terms of performances, but we need more points. And I think this gentleman said on the front row as well now, I think, the ruthlessness in both boxes, I think, is going to be really, really important. That's the big thing at this level.
A lot's been said about Ross Barkley's pitch on the ball and excellent against today, but it's a real threat from set pieces now, isn't he?
Yeah. He is. He's getting his head on things, and look, he's a special player, special person. It's great that he's found a home and he's happy. He feels I think he feels supported, and we allow him to go and be the best Ross Barkley possible, and the best Ross is a pretty good player.
And you mentioned at half-time something, Chong hasn't played too much recently, but to have that kind of impact as he did.
Yeah, it was, and he'll be frustrated at the moment, and understandably so, because they all want to play. And Chongy, I think 16, 17, 18. And it's hard to give a number now because you'll all be thinking, right, putting them in, who's who then. But I think people who could start, and clearly Chongy is one of those players. You get in a team, you stay in a team by playing like that when you get the chance to come on. And we need, that's the hardest bit of my job. You have to disappoint people. I hate that. But you get in a team, you stay in a team by performing really, really well when you come on and affecting games and training really hard every single day. And he does that, and he's done that today.
Have you been tempted to make changes? Obviously, with the third game in such a quick turnaround, well, obviously, because you won both, but have you been tempted to make changes? Yeah, thought about it, but felt the energy, the pressing that front three have been giving us has been remarkable. And we felt they got it in them to do it again, and they have. They did. They did. So I don't think we needed to tweak too much. I think it's important that I don't try and be too clever and think, I can make too many changes, because we were in a rhythm. And but we did, of course. So I think about that stuff all the time. Are you surprised only 6 minutes of stoppage time?
Yeah, I was expecting a double figures. I've got to be honest today. I don't know. But it's just that, there was, I'm not going to comment on that. Yeah.
Did you think, talking of the pressing, that you forced Chelsea into changing their tactics and going longer?
Well, yeah, but I think most teams, when you look at all of the bigger clubs and the teams that will be possession dominant, they've all had to do that in the end, because we'll be so aggressive with that press. I think that's why Brozier would have started today, to be able to go into him. He's sort of a bigger number 9 type, if you like, so he could get hold of it. So it was pretty clear that's why he was playing, because they thought they'd try and miss it and go in. And that's what everyone will do these days now. Teams that will press high, opposition teams, if they can't get through it, they'll obviously try and miss that press. It becomes a bit more of a second ball game, a bit more chaotic, which suits us. But then that's down to the players' quality as well in 1v1 duels, and having to, if Brozier was having a field day and bringing it down and then being able to go and play, they could continue.
Hi Rob, Jim Conlan here from RCB Radio Sport Ireland. Nice to meet you, Rob. Rob, just looking there's many strikers that have made their marks, say in League 2 and League 1 and proven themselves even in the Championship and have gone on to better things. But Carlton Morris strikes me as a striker with sort of similarities to the Ivan sort of Tony story, that Ivan Tony did it at League 1, he did it at Championship, now he's doing it at Premier League. Carlton Morris, 40 games this season, 17 goals, so close to the 20 goal mark. Do you think Carlton has the ability to go another step again?
Hi Jim, nice to meet you, pal. I do. Got complete belief in Carlton that he can get to Premier League level, and hopefully he helps us get there at some stage, because he deserves it. He's been incredible for us this year. You know, it's not just his goals though, Jim, it's his all-round play, it's his work rate, it's what he gives the team. He can hold the ball up, he can have a dribble, he can run at players, he can win a header and win a flick on, he can use his physicality, he can be cute and clever with the ball as well. And he can score different types of goals. He scored outside the box for us with his left foot. He's scored inside the box with headers and scrappy goals and lots of winners as well, really important ones. So I think he's a terrific player, and I've loved working with him, and I'm loving working with him, and hopefully he's going to continue to do what he's doing. He's been great for us.
And you're on this 9-match unbeaten run, 12 goals and only conceded 4 goals. But you mentioned there that some of those victories could be more than the sort of 1-0s. But do you, as a manager, do you prefer grinding out those sort of 1-0 sort of victories? Some of those have been dominant 1-0 sort of victories, or do you prefer the more high-scoring sort of affairs?
I'd love it to be 4-0 if that's what you're asking me, Jim, rather than a 1-0. It'd be better for my heart and me grey hair. But the Championship, the majority of the games in the Championship, if they are won and lost, it's normally by the odd goal. I think it's just typical of the league. So I'd love us, of course, everyone would want us to be a bit more free scoring. But I think since in the sort of 20 games since we've come in and since the World Cup break, there's not that many teams that have scored more than us. There might only be 4 teams that have scored more than us in that time. So that's pretty good. But of course, we always want more, and I always want more, and I'm going to push the lads to try and score more goals and be more of a threat. But you know, I'm realistic as well, and I know how tight these games are in the Championship. And when you are playing Saturday, Tuesday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, and it's difficult, you do have to grind, as you use the word there. You do have to grind a lot of these games out as well, and it's the teams that can be consistent and grind a lot of those points out, and normally at the right end of the table.
And Rob, I know you're sort of chasing down Sheffield United and you still hope to catch them, but one thing is for certainty, whether you do catch them or not, that yourselves and Middlesbrough will be in the sort of playoff picture. But below that, it's very fascinating in terms of 5th and 6th, and that probably will go all the way down to the last game. So there's a chance that if you don't catch Sheffield United and you do finish, that you won't know your opponents until probably the last kick of on the final day of the Championship regular season. Given that I was looking at the table, you could go down as far as the 11th place, could still maybe make 5th or 6th here in the Championship. So as a manager, are you just concentrating on chasing down Sheffield United and sort of securing that? And because you can't really plan ahead in terms of the first round of playoffs, because it won't probably be decided until another 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of points there. The first thing, I think, you're right, we can only concentrate on ourselves. We can't affect who we're going to get or anything like that if it got to that stage. But what I've got to be careful of is I don't want to just think that we're going to be in there as well, because I'm pretty sure that if we take our foot off the gas, that anyone in 11, so whoever's in 11th place at the moment could still catch us as well. So I don't want that. Of course, we're aware of how close we are to the team above us as well. So we just want to focus on ourselves. But because it is so tight, we can't plan for anything at the moment. It might become clearer with a couple of games to go. It might do. But at the moment, if we're going to be in the playoffs, I just want to confirm that we are going to be there, and then I want to be arriving into those games with good form and in good form as well. But that's with all due respect to everyone else in and around it at the moment, because I know there's a lot of teams who are harbouring plans to be in there and be in those, in the mix. And we've got to make sure, if it's not, the automatic stuff, then we've got to make sure that we're doing the business and we're there. And nothing's done yet. Nothing's done and dusted. So we've got to make sure we respect every game and keep our foot down. And obviously that starts with Rotherham.
Mentioning on Rotherham, we believe here in Ireland that we have a Premier League player playing for Rotherham. He probably tore Benjamin Pavard to pieces there when Ireland played France there recently. Chidozie Ogbene, we believe in Ireland that Chidozie Ogbene is Premier League standard and Premier League quality, that he could play at that sort of level. I suppose as planning with Rotherham, do you look at the sort of Chidozie and the sort of form he's been on an international level as well recently? He's probably the main man for Ireland at the moment. Is he the sort of guy that you sort of earmarked, and do you believe, as well as most people do believe, that he is Premier League quality?
He's got a lot. He's a heck of a good player, Jim, and I know he's not my player, so I don't want to talk too much about him, and I don't want to upset Matt at all. He's bigger than me, Matt, but what I would say is, I think, in the games that we've watched, he's shown a high level of quality. He's a real dangerous player. He's good in 1v1. He can go past not just 1, 2, 3 people. He's very dangerous in transition, and he does have high quality. So, of course, he's someone that we've got to be aware of. He was mentioned in the meeting today, and we'll talk about him in more detail tomorrow as well. So he's certainly someone that we've got to be aware of in the game. He's a very, very good player.
Rob, best of luck for the remainder of the season, and a pleasure talking to you today.
Cheers, Jim. Thanks a lot. Take care.